Like you have your trickster, your jokester, your mobster, your psychopath. I think this one was a sad clown.
I just want to get into the spoilers.
Oh, you're improving?
Yeah.
Oh, right.
What's up? I am just pulling up to the Transit Drive-In. We're about to watch Joker 2, and we'll see how it goes. Not hearing the greatest things, but also I tend not to trust a lot of reviewers, and I like to form my own opinion, so we'll see how it goes. Do you want to hop in here, Luke?
Howdy! I'm half convinced a lot of those bad reviews are just paid off by Marvel. I mean, the same people that say that Joker 2 is no good likely also said they didn't care about the BVS, and those people are wrong.
So yeah, we're just here having a fun date night. This is one of our favorite places in the area to go. Transit Drive-In in Lockport, New York. If you're ever in the area, definitely come give them some support.
I'm pretty sure they're like one of the oldest drive-ins.
They are. They're not locally owned anymore. They were bought out by Dipson, which is a big, yeah. So we love this place. So do you have anything you want to say, Luke? Anything else?
Yeah, what was that movie we bought from Viva Nostalgia?
I Bury the Living.
Cool.
Yeah, we'll have to watch. Maybe we'll watch that one tomorrow.
Alright.
Yeah, we bought a movie from one of our favorite shops in the area. I did get some footage in there, so I might make a video about that. It's like a movie store, mainly an older movie store, but lately they've converted a little bit more into a pop culture type store, selling more Funko Pops and like that kind of merchandise, but they used to be primarily movies, and that's where we've gotten a lot of our collection, a lot of our older films. I believe I Bury the Living was from 1958, something like that. Yeah, it's a Scream Factory release, and I've been looking for old horror movies to watch, so...
1958.
Yeah. Yeah, I've been wanting old horror movies to watch, and a lot of that stuff is like creature features, and that's not really my vibe. That's more his, but you know, I like more weird, gory, kind of gruesome, fucked up shit. And we have different tastes for sure when it comes to horror.
I'm actually a big baby with horror. I don't like scary movies.
Yeah.
I like psychologically horrifying movies. That's my jam. I just never cared for the jump scares. That in absolutely no way entertains me. It just startles me, and it's not
this
fun.
girl at work was telling me about this movie she was watching on Prime called Bones and All. She said it was really good. It's got Timothée Chalamet, and it's about like... It's like a love story about a couple of cannibals. Yeah, like she said it's really gross and weird, but she got the vibe that I was someone she could talk about that with, so I guess that's a good sign.
I would call that a compliment.
Right, okay. Alright, thank you. Joker?
Yeah. Alright, so you guys are going to be on screen 1, big screen directly behind you guys.
Okay.
You guys are going to take a left right here, probably very first 5 or last 2 rows.
Okay, thanks.
Sweet.
There's like a guy behind me. This is a good spot.
Yeah,
This looks like a good spot.
this is great right here.
I guess I should turn these lights off so I don't get yelled at. Alright, so we just watched the movie and have some thoughts. So first, I just want to preface this by saying that I went to film school, so I am a pretentious film nerd, and I've been taught to look at and analyze movies a little bit more critically, and so I just want to say that if you're going out to see this movie and you've heard a lot of negative reviews, I want you to really pay attention to the cinematography, pay attention to some of the little subtle things that they do, because there's really a lot going on. This movie is a good example of show don't tell, and I think that a lot of people might miss some of the things that they're trying to do. I'm trying my best to say this spoiler free, and then I will go into a spoiler portion where I'll give my crazy little theory about what's going on. But first of all, I just want to say that the performances are all great, the musical numbers, they all work for what they're trying to do.
Well, I certainly enjoyed it.
Do
Arthur
you have
feels
any-
like he's trapped in his own skin.
Something you definitely notice is just the claustrophobic feeling of Arthur. Like, he definitely just feels helpless and trapped, and I think that they do a really good job with a lot of close-up shots of him. Like, you can just feel how he is just spiraling. I don't know if it's a spoiler to say, but so essentially he is on death row. Like, is that a spoiler? I don't know if it's a spoiler.
I would say it's a spoiler for anyone that hasn't seen the first movie.
Okay.
Which I would say, if you're watching this movie, if you're watching this video, it's likely you've already seen the first movie, and you could figure out that things happen in the first movie that had consequences.
Yeah.
I really appreciate the film's adherence to the core character tenets. If you look back at the most famous origin of the Joker is the Killing Joke. He's really not entirely sure of his own spoiler. He's not entirely sure of his origins himself. He's so caught up in his own fantasy and delusions and trauma that he doesn't know who he is or what real is. And it's it's complicated by the fact that there's a sick love that's introduced into the movie. I happen to really love Lady Gaga. I think she was a phenomenal casting choice. Yeah, Joaquin Phoenix played a phenomenal Joker.
Oh yeah,
Joaquin Phoenix. I feel like one of the best parts of the two Joker movies is their relative adherence to reality. Right. It's not that difficult for you to sink into the world because it mimics reality so closely. And you definitely feel that this Joker character is brought to screen appropriately. It's not.
I was thinking
he feels like he almost could be real, and that he has.
Like, there are parts where he's just alone in Arkham. I just think, like, this just perfectly captures the Joker in his essence. Even if he's not the clown prince of crime, even if he doesn't have the funny gadgets and buttons, like, he still is the Joker because it's the state of mind. Yeah.
I mean, Joaquin Phoenix, for a lot of Joker adaptations, I feel really kind of missed the character mark, and it's really refreshing to see a Joker tell jokes. Look at that.
Yeah.
Fleck is hilarious, especially in both of these movies. The off-the-cuff black humor was one of my favorite parts about the first movie. The wit. There's a lot of witty banter comedy in this movie. Yeah. It felt like the movie was trying to explain the comedy of a sad clown. So you have your Cesar Romero, Jack Nicholson, Heath Ledger, the one that shall not be named. And they're all like reflect like the different kinds of Joker you would see in the comic books throughout the different ages of comics. Like you have your trickster, your jokester, your mobster, your psychopath. I think this one was a sad clown. I think this is a sad clown Joker. It was based in reality enough and to made a very compelling story about a sad clown, about who life kicked him down every chance he got, and he was forgotten, and so he was like, well, I'm gonna play this role then, and he didn't even do that very well. This is a psychological thriller. This doesn't spoon feed you the plot every 10 minutes.
It feels a lot like a Scorsese movie, and I definitely feel like the musical numbers, they really show you a picture of Arthur's just declining mental state, if he had one at all. You are in the head of an insane man. Maybe I shouldn't say that. I'm having a hard time saying things without spoiling the movie. That's my problem right now. Okay, so I really want to get into the spoiler portion of this review. My theory: Lady Gaga, Harley Quinn, is the Joker. Because you have psychologists, they're making the case that Arthur has split personality. That he is the Joker and he's Arthur, and that's their case they're trying to make to keep him off of death row. Every single time Lady Gaga has a musical number with Arthur, when it cuts away to Arthur by himself. There's a part where, they're singing together, and then it immediately cuts to him in a cell alone smoking a cigarette. Another scene when they're doing their little Joker and Harley show, that's clearly a delusion. I'm sure anyone could tell that, but then she points the gun, and then after that it cuts away to Arthur at Arkham outside, pointing the gun, pointing his little finger guns at people. She started the fire when she's trying to be like the devil on his shoulder in a way, telling him, come on, let's get out of here. And he's trying to be the straight man, because at that point, he still thinks he has a chance because he has love. And another thing is that you'll notice some of Lady Gaga's songs that she sings, some of the Harley Quinn songs, a lot of the time, she's repeating stuff that Arthur has said. Have you noticed that?
No, I actually didn't pick that up, no.
Yeah,
but that does sound like some double-speak psycho talk.
Yeah, like he's just repeating it to himself, and kind of she is the outlet. Like he mentioned to her, I think their first meeting, he said something about how they were gonna climb a mountain, and she kept on saying that and singing it.
You're gonna build a mountain.
You're gonna build a mountain, yeah, that's right. Going back to the beginning of the movie, to their first interaction, they talk and she tells him some things that are untrue. She told him that she burnt her family's house down, and she was checked in by her family to Arkham, and he later finds out that that's not true. She's actually a psychologist, and she checked herself in, so maybe you could believe that she was perhaps studying the Joker, because she immediately checked herself out. Maybe he saw her in Arkham because she checked herself in. Maybe she saw his documentary and wanted to study him, whatever. And so now he's clinging on to this idea of her just like he clung on to that idea of his neighbor. So I believe maybe that first, some of those interactions may have been true. They may have had interactions, but I definitely think a lot of it is his delusions. It was the Joker kind of feeding him, because you see as time goes on, he slips, he fires his lawyer, he doesn't even give any defense for himself. He just, by the end of the movie, he fully becomes the Joker because she was there tapping on his shoulder, pushing him because she was the Joker. And then at the end, when he is fully the Joker, she disappears. She's gone. And I think that a lot of people might miss that because just little things that you have to kind of pay attention for. Joker, Arthur just slipping further and further as he gets closer and closer to his death day, essentially. And then he fires his lawyer. He fails to defend himself in any way and intimidates some of the witnesses on stand, just completely in Joker makeup. And the first ever televised court hearing. And then right as they are about to give his verdict, a car bomb goes off and the entire courthouse blows up. Harvey Dent, who is the district attorney, he blows up and half of his face winds up disfigured, yeah. So get a little glimpse of Two-Face right there. And Arthur escapes. There are some of his clown goons that pick him up. He gets away. He's running back towards his old apartment. He goes up those iconic stairs and he sees Harley Quinn on the stairs. She had walked away during his trial. And to me, that was just kind of a little bit symbolic of the fact that he was at the end.
Arthur Fleck started the push to the chaotic domino.
Yeah.
That later manifested into what happened at the end of the movie.
Yeah.
And those dominoes were falling since the end of the first movie, and it caught up to him.
Yeah, for sure. And he got what he fucking deserved.
It was a real punch to the gut, that ending.
Yeah.
real gut punch, that one.
God. Obviously, if you're watching this far, you've seen the movie, so essentially, guards come over, tell him you got a visitor, and they allow him to get shanked, and that's how he dies.
I happen to really enjoy the Arkham guards in this movie. They were something of...
Like, I just thought it was funny, like, when he's in court and he's just, like, talking shit about the Arkham guards, and, like, cause, like, you're just progressively watching this guy fuck himself more and more. Like, you don't want to laugh, but, like, it is mildly entertaining in a way.
It's humorous. Like, there's a black comedy to it.
Yeah, definitely. Especially with that ending. I feel like there had to be some level of humor there. Just the poetic justice of it.
He was in the other end of that joke. I wonder if the perpetrator at the end of the movie is going to meet up with Lady Gaga.
Who knows? Maybe she'll get a job at Arkham. Maybe that's what she's studying for. We won't know because we're not getting another movie.
She's not going to leave the city.
And, like...
So she might as well work at Arkham.
Right. And, like, I knew he was going to die probably going into it because the director said that they weren't making another movie. As soon as they said, he's on death row, I assumed he was just going to get the chair and that would be the end of the movie. But I think it was a very satisfying end. I think that having these two movies right here, you have the downfall, the birth of the Joker, and then you have the end, the spiral and the death. It was great. It wrapped up everything it needed to wrap up.
So it's a wonderful movie if you genuinely enjoy the DC characters, particularly Joker. If you particularly enjoy Harley Quinn, and are interested in the finer aspects of character interaction, and maybe less interested in sex appeal, then you're really gonna enjoy. I loved seeing them dance together. I loved the interaction. He didn't carry a large hammer and throw bombs all over the place because it wasn't that kind of movie. I don't feel like Joker 2 is nearly as successful as Deadpool 3 in selling popcorn buckets. I wouldn't take a 10-year-old to see this movie as their first R-rated movie, but I might for Deadpool. It wasn't spoon-feeding you the plot. In fact, it felt like they went out of their way to convolute the plot as much as possible because that's in the spirit of the character. It makes it appropriate.
Closing thoughts. I think that a lot of people missed the point of this movie, and I think that maybe rewatch it and give it another try.
No, I don't think they missed the point. I feel like if you made a negative review on this movie, you're a typical Marvel enjoyer. If you didn't like this movie, you're a typical Marvel enjoyer. That's my hot take.
I think that there were a lot of early reviews that came out that kind of soured the taste in people's mouths. So I think a lot of people may have gone into this expecting not to like it and looking for things not to like instead of really kind of looking between the lines. For me, I was immediately paying attention to everything because the film is shot beautifully. The story is really told through the cinematography and through the music, and it really, it doesn't need to spoon feed you the plot because everything you need to know is there. This is the finale, this is the conclusion and the end of the first movie. It picks up right where we left off, and it gives you the ending we needed, and the ending that Arthur Fleck deserved.
It felt like the first movie was the setup, and the second was the punchline.
Good call. So, do you have any closing thoughts?
I'm still convinced those negative reviews were planted by Marvel. I don't think they watched the same movie.
I mean,
or if they did watch this movie, this is only proof that their opinions shouldn't be listened to.
Okay, well, that's it. That's all we had to say. We really enjoyed the movie, and we're film snobs. We like all the Scorsese, the real cinema. This is the kind of movie that we really like to watch. And for me, I always love something that is a little more open to interpretation, kind of gets a little more creative with the storytelling. So I really enjoyed it.
I feel like this is the kind of movie that in 10 years we're going to be kicking ourselves we didn't enjoy in theaters.
I want to see it again.
Be like, hey, did you see the end of this movie where this person dies?
Yeah, he has a funny thing he does where he likes to fake spoil movies for people, where he just makes up something that didn't happen in the movie and then convinces everyone that it happened and that the movie was just spoiled for them. So they go through two periods of being pissed at him. First, they're pissed because he spoiled the movie. And then they're pissed because he lied and he didn't spoil the movie.
I think my fake spoiler should be that Harley Quinn kills Alfred. Because he was in there. He was in that movie for like half a second. The first movie for half a second. So if I tell people that Lady Gaga kills Alfred, they're gonna be like, "What the fuck?" And then after they see the movie, they're gonna be like, "Yeah, Alfred wasn't even in that movie," and I'd be like, "Yeah, well, at least you watched the movie." The people that are complaining that I spoil it and I give them a fake ending. Yeah. Except for that one time I spoiled the ending of Homecoming, Spider-Man Homecoming, and I didn't I just made up an ending and that ended up being true. That was really funny.
Oh yeah.
It was like Aunt May dies, and everyone's like, "Fuck you!" And I'm like, "Ah, you didn't see the movie." And they're like, "Yeah, we did." And I'm like, "Well, I didn't. I just made that up."
Oh my.
That was great.
Okay. Well.
That was the best.
Yeah. Well, this has been fun. So thank you for sitting through this, and I hope you guys sit through the Joker and enjoy it because.
If they've gotten this far, they hope they better just they've seen it and then just spoil the fucking movie.
Well,
I've done that.
If you haven't seen it and you're convinced it's horrible, go out and watch it, because even with everything I'm saying, you're not going to get the full picture unless if you just go out and watch the movie. Good night, guys.